Hi everyone, welcome into the Property Finance Podcast. And today I want to talk about kind of choosing the right lender, because this comes up more and more regularly now, which is as a first-time developer, which predominantly our audience are first-time developers, they want to understand, well, how do I choose the best first lender? Because it can really make or break kind of your property career, if you like. So I want to talk about a few hints and tips, kind of things to look out for. Hopefully this will be helpful for sort of more experienced developers as well, because I think even if you've used development finance 10 times, like you can still pick things up from this to give you ideas of what you need to be on the lookout for. So when it comes to first-time development finance lenders, you're dealing with quite a sort of narrow field of lenders who actually deal with sort of first-time development. So when it comes to that, you are looking at building a relationship with one who's probably going to work with you for the first two or three, I would say. That's kind of what you want to be aiming for. So you want a development finance lender who is financially well-backed. So you want someone who has got institutional funding lines. I would probably personally avoid peer-to-peer and crowdfunding for your first couple. The reason being is because depending on the platform that you use, they go out and they tend to raise sort of each tranche individually. And as you know, based on sort of previous podcasts, you're raising those tranches in arrears. You've obviously already gone and spent money. So the big risk from your perspective is if you're raising each of those tranches individually, what if one doesn't raise? Completely destroys the project. So I would avoid crowdfunding and peer-to-peer personally for my first few. So I would go for institutionally backed lenders who you know have got the funding lines, who you know are going to set aside the full amount of your development loan, and you have that surety of funds. I would avoid bridging lenders who are masquerading as development finance lenders. We have this a lot at the moment. So you want to use development finance lenders who are actively lending against works done. So they are lending against works done, not against value. So what happens with a bridging lender is they masquerade as a development finance lender, and they go out and rather than doing QS reports, so QS report or asset manager report for a development finance lender, they will go out, they'll check the works done, materials ordered, materials on site, that kind of thing. And they'll say, right, you've done 100 grand's worth of work. We'll send you £100,000. Great, wonderful. You carry on. Under bridging lenders, what will happen is they send a valuer out to begin with. They might say, right, the asset's worth £1 million. And then what always happens without fail is you go for your first drawdown. Let's say it's a refurb, for example. You've completely stripped the place. You've ripped it all back to brick, obviously ready for doing the full development. And what happens is the valuer, they send out a valuer, not a QS. The valuer comes out and they say, well, actually, you've ripped the place to shreds. It's now only worth 600 grand. So what then happens is because you're on a bridging loan, they then go, oh, well, hang on a minute. We lent you 75% of £1 million to begin with. You've dropped the value. We're now at the wrong loan to value. We need you to inject more money and you need to cover the works that you've done, because they're basing it on current value. So do not get drawn into bridging lenders masquerading as development finance lenders. Absolute no-go. One of the best development finance lenders that we work with for newbies do one of the best processes I think I've ever come across for a newbie. And that is they work with us to get the deal in. We go through the deal together, broker and lender, work out all the kinks in the deal, and we go, right, okay, yeah, great, deal works. What then happens is they then get the client onto a Zoom call. So you get the two directors, so the two top guys at that lender, sit on the phone call with you and with the client, and they go through the deal. And they'll talk through any issues or concerns that the client has. We can raise questions, client can raise questions, they can raise questions, irons everything out in a quick 30-minute Zoom call. Straight away, you know there's going to be no more hurdles throughout that deal. You know straight away what you're dealing with. You've seen the whites of their eyes. They've seen the whites of your eyes. Everyone can then move on and move into valuation, QS, everything else. I love that process. They will also come and do site visits as well, which not many lenders do now. They rely on QSs and valuers to go out and do that. They will do personal site visits. So that, as a first-time developer, gives you confidence that someone believes in your project. There is nothing worse as a first-time developer than going with a development finance lender, never hearing from them, never seeing them, just seeing the QS and the valuer. There's nothing worse than that, because you want to feel like someone believes in you. And obviously as the brokers, like, we will back you, we will believe in you, we will sell you as much as we can. But it's just nice working with development lenders who are happy to kind of come out and actually be a bit more involved. And as brokers, we've always been more involved as well. Like I go on site visits, which I know not a huge amount of brokers do. I'll go and sit with people in coffee shops and build spreadsheets. I'll sit with people on Zoom and build spreadsheets. I'll sit with people on site and God, I mean, even to the point of, I had one recently, I was actually helping with procurement. Like that's just mental. Like I'm sitting there ordering stone. So like we will muck in. And that's where I think we work really well with development finance lenders who also do the same. Like we want boots on the ground. That as simple as that. So when it comes to choosing your first lender, it's about choosing that personal relationship, that institutionally funded lender who you know has the funds, isn't going to let you down midway. And it's also about choosing the right lender with the right product, because you can have the best bridging lenders in the world, but if you want development finance, why are you going to a bridging lender? And that's why it's key to choose not only a really good lender, but a really good broker as well. And I've kind of pivoted slightly into a sales pitch here. But that is the thing, is it's about having a really good broker. And we've done loads of episodes on this before, but it's about having a really good broker who understands the product that you're after, how you work, how you like to be dealt with, and essentially putting you with a lender that matches. It's kind of almost like if you imagine Tinder for lenders, that's kind of, we are like the Tinder platform, if you like. We are here putting you with the right matches. But it just so happens that rather than some dodgy one-night stand, you're getting millions of pounds of development finance. And that's all it's about. It's about putting those perfect matches in place. And that's what we do as the broker. But if you didn't use a broker, that's what you're looking for if you're going out for development finance for the first time. I appreciate that's only a quick episode. Not a huge amount of detail, but just a few little snippets there, I think, that as first-time developers, just some things to keep in mind, especially when you're shopping about, because it's such a weird market out there at the minute. There are so many brokers who are dealing with the wrong things, I think is the way of putting it. I would never deal with a resi mortgage because I don't understand resi mortgages. So I think it's about finding the right broker who specializes in the product that you're looking for and who can match you with the right lenders. And hopefully that kind of brief description has kind of given you a few things that just in the back of your mind, just keep thinking about. And just whenever you get put with a lender, just think, right, is that the right product? Is that the right lender? Are they going to deal with me in the right way? Am I going to be able to build a lasting relationship? And if all the answers to that are yes, they're going to be a great fit. So hopefully it's helpful. If it was, please do like, share, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. Comment on Spotify because it really does help us to sort of see who's listening to it. Comment on YouTube as well. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. But otherwise, thank you so much for all the support, and I will catch you on the next one.